Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So let's get started with our discussion, and first of all let us see important topics of the day, and later on we'll see that topics from prelims and as well as mains point of view, and at last I'll be giving you prelims practice questions also so that you can understand how the questions can be asked from that topic. Okay, first let us see the topics of the day. First topic is Centre's investment body flagged Nicobar port as lacking in strategic goals. So this article is talking about PIB statement on this Great Nicobar project, and PIB is saying that whenever government came up with this Nicobar project, whatever the thing which mainly said by central government is not it is not having strategic goals. So you have to see why the statement is given by PIB and what are the substantiation for this kind of statement you have to see. And you have to see some basic facts regarding this Great Nicobar project. This topic is important from economy from GS paper 3. And next topic is monsoon sets in over Kerala 3 days late amid concerns over El Nino impact. So here from last 1 week onwards we are discussing about this monsoon El Nino topic. Just you have to see some points regarding this monsoon winds and as well as El Nino and what is La Nina. And this is important from GS paper 1 and a geography. And next topic is energy tie up tops bilateral agenda as Modi meet Delhi. So this article is talking about India and Venezuela relations, and this topic is important from your GS paper 2 under IR. And next topic is India UK launch observatory to expand critical minerals partnership. And here you have to see what is that partnership is about and what are the features of that partnership and exactly what are these critical minerals. You need to know this. And this topic is important from again GS paper 2 on IR and as well as from GS paper 3 on science and technology. And next topic it is about the power of mangroves over sea walls. Actually every year we will celebrate June 5th as Environment Day. So there are many articles in our newspaper, it is related to environment. So all together I'll tell you what you have to see from that point of view, guys. Okay, see this article and read out the title, guys. Centre's investment body. Centre's investment body is nothing but PIB, Public Investment Board, flagged Nicobar project as lacking in strategic goals. So what are the keywords? First one is you have to know about Great Nicobar project, and next you have to see why it is lacking strategic goals. Okay. If UPSC wants to give a question from that area, as you all know that government announced one important development project in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and that project is Great Nicobar Development Project. And what we are doing under this project? We are developing infrastructure in this Andaman and Nicobar region. And what we are building? First one is Greenfield Airport. First one is we are building airport. Next one is transshipment port. Second one is transshipment port. And what is the third one? Yes, township. And next one is solar and gas power plant. Yes. Okay, that is in Nicobar area. And on this already UPSC asked question related to Andaman and Nicobar, but it didn't touch this Great Nicobar Development Project in 2026 UPSC. That means in 2027 UPSC can ask you a prelims based question on this Great Nicobar Development Project. Why? Because in 2026 they asked about Sagarmala project. That was like contemporary topic, and it will be also become contemporary topic by next year, so that UPSC can ask you a question related to this Great Nicobar Development Project in 2027 and you have to know about it. Okay. And now you guys tell me, what are the concerns of this project? Do we have any concerns? Okay, before that, my question is, why government came up with this heavy investment project in that Andaman and Nicobar project? What is the reason? Okay, one is development. Next, only for development are we coming up with this project? Yes, for improving of security. Next, security purpose in Indian Ocean region. Next, is that important for military also? Yes, for military purpose. Next, we are going to have this transshipment port. We can handle cargo in this area. If you're handling this cargo, then what happen? Obviously, we can generate some amount of income and revenue from this area, right? And here we can also attract foreign reserves or foreign currency from this port, so that we can increase what? Economic activities in this area. We are focusing on all these things, guys. So these are the major aims of this development project. First one is for development, economic growth of the country, to improve security in this region, and for military purpose also we can use this area because Andaman and Nicobar is strategically located. And this one is, we want to even reduce the reduce the burden on the nearby ports of Singapore, like that, so that we can go for shifting of that cargo from from here, so that we can increase economic activities. So all these are the important aims and objectives of this Great Nicobar Development Project. And now tell me, what are the concerns of this project? What are the problems of this project? Deforestation can happen. It will be having impact on environment and biodiversity, and it will be threat to some endemic species of Nicobar region. What are those? Leatherback turtles, Nicobar megaport, Nicobar tree shrew, and even we have to displace certain tribal communities. Who are those tribes? Nicobaris and Shompen, right? So all these are the concerns. And now come back to this title, read out the title, guys. Centre's investment body flagged that Nicobar port as lacking in strategic goals. Okay, what does that mean? So whenever government of India proposed this project, at that time they didn't said anything about military purpose, security purpose, but just they focused on economic activities and to attract foreign currency, guys. So because of this, PIB flagged it, and it said that yes, Nicobar port is not having any strategic goals. Okay, so it is also one concern you can add in your concerns. Okay, so here whatever the concerns we said now, in that you can also add that PIB earlier said that there is no strategic goals. So this project is lacking strategic goals. So that is one concern you can add here. So because of that, you have to know all this background of this article. Okay, and this article, if you expect a question in prelims, in which area you can expect? Consider the following statements regarding Great Nicobar Development Project. Under that, they may give you 2 to 3 statements. And next one here is, in this 2026 paper, you saw the new format of questions. They gave, consider the following statements. Under that, they gave 1, 2, 3 statements. If you take this Sagarmala question itself, they gave 3 statements, and under that, they gave statement 1 is explaining the aims, statement 2 is extending the objective, statement 1 and statement 3 are contradicting each other. Like that, they gave again 3, and they asked choose the correct option, like that. So in that way also, you can expect a question on this Great Nicobar Development Project. In that, one statement will be for sure related to aims and objectives of this project. And next one will be like, they will be giving some contradictory statements, or they may extend that aims and objectives in one of the statement. And they will frame question in the new format, guys. Okay. If you see the new format of the question, you can easily understand what exactly I am saying. Okay, now let us see this article. Here PIB, it is a ministry, finance ministry body, and it said that International Container Transshipment Port at Galatea Bay in Nicobar project is not having strategic objectives. That is a statement given in this article. And it said that later on it advised Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways to add strategic advantages of this port also. And after that 1 year again PIB said that yes, now our port is having strategic project. It is a thing which mainly said by the Ministry of Defence. Okay, if you want to understand this, you have to know the timeline. So whenever Government of India proposed this project, at that time PIB said that no, this project is not having any strategic goals. And later on this PIB asked Ministry of Ports and Shipping to review this project and please add strategic value for this project. And after 1 year, they added this strategic value, and now Ministry of Defence says that yes, we are going to use this project even for the military purpose and security purpose of our country. And Ministry of Defence said that yes, now this project is having strategic ties or strategic goals. So that is a timeline. Whenever they came up, actually Government of India didn't focus anything on strategy, security, military purpose. They just focused on the port for containers, cargo, to attract foreign investments only for economic development. And later on, this PIB advised Ministry of Port and Shipping to add the strategic value also. And later on, they added extra these aims and objectives of this project. And now Ministry of Defence is saying that yes, this project is having the strategic role. And now let us see, whenever this Government of India came up with this project, what they said. Okay, so whenever they came up with the project, they said that this will be only a business project. It is not for defense and security. Whenever our Government of India came up with this project. And they said that the proposed project will be focusing on only making of money by handling of ships and cargo in this transshipment port. And they want to take away the business from nearby busiest ports like Colombo Port, Singapore Port and Port Klang. And they said that with this project, the goal here is to save foreign exchange of around $200 million per year. And there was no mention of military use or national security use or like stopping of Chinese incursion in Indian Ocean region. So whenever they came up, there is no mention of this. So because of this, here PIB said that this project is only for economic purpose. There is no strategic goal of this project. So because of this, they extended their advice to Ministry of Defence, Ministry of Shipping to add even strategic value to this project. Okay, and even one more reason there is about VGF. VGF is nothing but viability gap funding. So this viability gap funding is very important concept in your economy. So what is this viability gap funding? Any idea? Viability gap funding. What is the meaning of gap? What is the meaning of funding? Fund is related to investment of that project. Then what is the gap? Come on, think. You may get a question on this viability gap funding because of this Great Nicobar project. So actually this project asked for 12,230 crores as viability gap funding. That is nothing but it is free government help to this project. So what is this viability gap funding is? With some investment, if you are starting any project, after once we make that project into operational, we will be getting some profit. So with that profit, we can run that project. So if there is any gap between whatever the revenue we are getting and whatever the thing that we have to spend to run that project, whatever the gap is there, that gap is called as viability gap. So here in this project, what they asked is initially government will be providing certain amount to construct that project. But if the revenues are not getting or not to that point, if that revenues whatever we are getting is not reaching the point of expenditure, they will be having the gap. Again, that gap has to be given by government itself. That is called as viability gap funding. Initially in this project, they also said about this viability gap funding, because we have a doubt that whether this project will be gaining profits or not. We are not sure about it. So here PIB said that if this is so important for the country's security, why does it need so much extra money to be given to even work? That means here if government is saying that this project is very important for our country, that means it will be for sure the profit only. So if they are not getting that much profits, why government again has to spend money on that to make it operational? So because of these two questions, PIB said that this is not having any strategic role. So because of this, now we extended that to Ministry of Shipping and as well as Defense, and now we added even strategic purpose and as well as military purpose, security purpose of this Great Nicobar project. So that is this, guys. So you may get a question on basics of Great Nicobar Development Project, and even you may get a question on viability gap funding. Why? Because this time you got question on crowd out effect like that. So here next time they may give you in this way, viability gap funding is in use, what exactly it is. Select the correct option, they will give you A, B, C, D options. Okay, so that is the thing that you have to remember. Okay, now let us see next article. Look at this, guys. Monsoon sets in over Kerala 3 days. 3 days late amid concerns over El Nino impact. So what does it say? So monsoon winds hit this Kerala coast, and actually we expected it will be hitting on June 1st. But June 4th, this monsoon winds hit this Kerala. That we studied in our yesterday's class, right? That means around 3 days of delay of monsoon winds happen. And now what are the concerns we are having? Yes, we are going to have impact of El Nino on our Indian monsoon. So now if UPSC wants to give a question, how can it give a question? Monsoon is very important topic from your geography, from GS paper 1. So it may give in this way, consider the following statements regarding monsoon. They will give you 2 to 3 statements and they may ask you which of the above are correct. And second type of question is they are asking about El Nino, and opposite to this is La Nina. So here they may give you statements related to El Nino and La Nina together, and they may ask you what? To identify correct statements. So whenever they are comparing the two concepts, what they will do? Flip flap can happen. Here they will give statement of La Nina to El Nino statement to La Nina, and they will make the statements. So you have to identify which of the above are correct or incorrect. So those are the two types of questions can be asked in UPSC. Already we discussed this topic many times. So just revise this topic of El Nino and La Nina, that's it. Okay, see this next article, guys. Read out the title. Energy tie-up tops bilateral agenda as Modi meets Delsi. Okay, so do you know about Venezuela? What happened in where is this Venezuela first of all? In which continent? South America, no doubt, right? In South America we have Venezuela. So Venezuela is famous for what? Oil. It is having the world's largest oil reserves in the world. What happened recently in Venezuela? What happened to president of Venezuela? US taken away the president of Venezuela. We know that. And now she is acting president of Venezuela. Okay, so recently president of Venezuela taken up by US. What is that operation name? Any idea? In which operation US took this Venezuelan president? Operation? No. I too can't recall right now. So please find out which operation, name of that operation in which Venezuela president had been taken away by US. It will start with R, operation R. I can't recall right now. So see that operation and you have to write that operation name, because you may get a question in 2026 and as well as 2027 mains related to international relations. Okay, you have to know that for sure, guys. Okay, so she is acting president of Venezuela now, and our prime minister met this acting president of Venezuela. And if you see this article, what is the keyword? Energy tie-up. That means what in this talk they had. In this meet, which kind of things they had talked about? Any idea? About energy. Energy is nothing but about oil. Why they might have talked about oil? Because now we have global uncertainty. We are having West Asian crisis. Because of this, we are not getting crude oil on time. And even international price of this crude oil had been raised a lot. So because of this, obviously it will be having impact on our energy security. So in this myth, India talked to Venezuela to supply more and more oil. That is a top one priority of this meeting of India and Venezuela. Are you understanding here? So the title also said that energy tie-up tops bilateral agenda. So in this meet, they talked about energy. India wants to get more and more crude oil from this Venezuela to overcome this present situation of crisis of oil in international market. Are you understanding? So that is this case. Now let us see this article in detail. Our Prime Minister held talks with Venezuelan acting president at Hyderabad House in New Delhi. New Delhi, Indian Prime Minister and Venezuelan acting president, they met and they had talks. And the discussions, whatever they had in this meeting, they focused on energy, trade, and as well as investment. Okay, why energy tie-up tops? Because as you all know that West Asia crisis is going on and we want to diversify our supply chains. That is the first important reason because of West Asian crisis. And not only that, whenever this West Asian crisis had been started, and even India started increasing of oil procurement from this Venezuela. And even they talked about other areas. The first one here is they want to improve trade and investments. And India is very good at pharmaceuticals, right? And India talked about sharing of pharmaceutical or exporting of pharmaceuticals, healthcare and Ayush. Ayush is nothing but Ayurvedic, Unani, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha and homeopathy related things comes under this Ayush. Okay, so we are also having collaboration related to Ayush related healthcare system. And this one is we are focusing on renewable energy and as well as science and technology cooperation. And even related to transportation and automobiles also, we are going to improve our relations and broader people to people contacts and culture ties. So all these are the things that mainly we talked between India and as well as, sorry, Indian Prime Minister and as well as acting President of Venezuela in this meet, guys. And now if UPSC wants to give a question in this area, how it can give? You know how international relations questions will come? No, tell me, guys. If there is any meet between countries, they will be asking about what are the highlights of that meet. And next they will be asking about what is the significance of Venezuela to India. And they may ask you about what are the challenges between India and that country. And they may ask you about way forward or measures. In all these areas, you have to be prepared, guys. Okay, you have to see about what are the challenges between India and Venezuela. Why we have to think about challenges? India's friend is US. US enemy is Venezuela. That means India and Venezuela are friends or enemies. Always you have to keep in mind this relation. Enemy's enemy will be our friend. Friends will be our friend. Friends enemy will be our enemy. So if you apply that equation, Venezuela should be enemy of India, but we are moving towards. That means, can I say India is having its own strategic autonomy related to how we have to make friends and who are our friends and who are our enemies. It is nothing but the part of India's sovereignty, guys. Okay. So from that point of view, you have to think this article. Okay, see this article. India UK launch observatory to expand critical minerals partnership. It is very important. Why? Because if there is any this kind of observatory or any grouping, if you are forming, means obviously UPSC has a tendency to ask a question on that. And it is about India and UK, guys. So if you have seen 2026 paper, most of the questions are from current affairs, that to current events. In 2027, UPSC may ask you a question related to this observatory. And even 2026, there was a question that is about rare earth elements and as well as critical minerals. And this critical minerals will be very important not only this year but even next year till 2030. You can expect question every year related to this critical minerals and as well as rare earth metals because of increasing of significance of critical minerals and rare earth elements now in technology point of view. Okay. So here you have to know what are the critical minerals and you have to know about rare earth elements, and if possible you have to even remember some examples of critical minerals and rare earth metals. How many rare earth metals we have? Number 17. UPSC gave how many? 30. That means that is a wrong statement. No. So like that, if you are remembering them, you can eliminate some statements in the questions so that you will come to your right answer, guys. Okay, now let us see what is about this observatory. Please make a note. India and UK launched Critical Minerals Global Supply Chain Observatory, GSCO. Okay, how can you get a question? I'll tell you the simple formats of question in which UPSC can frame your question. Recently, Global Supply Chain Observatory is in news. India collaborated with which of the following country? A. US, B. Canada, C. UK, D. Australia. So they will give question in this format. Now it is easy. In examination hall, in that pressure and anxiety, if you want to recall, that will become difficult. And next one here is consider the following statements regarding India UK Global Supply Chain Observatory. And they may give you 2 to 3 statements and they may ask you which of the above are correct or incorrect. So in these 2 ways, UPSC can ask you a question. You have to be careful. Okay. So recently, India and UK came up with this Critical Minerals Global Supply Chain Observatory. Okay, and next point write down. It is a joint initiative of TechSmin at Indian Institute of Technology and University of Cambridge. From India, it is TechSmin, that is Indian Institute of Technology, Dhanbad, and from UK it is University of Cambridge. On this also UPSC can frame a statement case. Yes, if you see this 2026 prelims, there was a question about Bharat forecast system. They gave what is that Bharat forecast system in first statement, and second statement what they said, it is developed by IIT Delhi. No, it is by ISRO actually. So they will be easily framing the statements on what, which. And if you see 2025, in 2025 paper there was a question on one chip called as Majorana chip. In that they gave around 2 to 3 statements, I guess. One statement is like it is developed by. Again they changed that. Actually it is developed by Microsoft, but they gave Amazon. Okay, like that they will be changing. So here if they are giving the question on this topic by giving the statements based, one statement will be for sure this case. Developed by whom or collaborated by whom. You have to remember that. Okay, and if you see about the critical minerals, what are they? They are very essential minerals for economic activity and as well as for industrial production. Especially now, advancements are happening in the science and technology, and we are focusing on clean energy, we are focusing on electric mobility, advanced manufacturing, emerging technologies. In all these areas, we need to have these critical minerals. Without critical minerals, we cannot go for advancement in technology and even there is no other material that we can use as a substitute for this critical minerals. Okay, if you see about the functions of this observatory, what it will do, it is designed to monitor and as well as it will analyze global critical mineral supply chains. How these critical minerals are moving from one country to another country, which are moving from one country to another country, which is a leading producer, which is a leading exporter. So like that, it will be monitoring and analyzing global critical mineral supply chains. And next one is even it will identify supply risk and as well as disruptions. And next one is this observatory will also helpful for taking the decisions, and it will be helpful for policy makers, industries, like what kind of decision they have to take related to critical minerals. And even this observatory also covers resource security for different sectors related to clean energy and as well as advanced manufacturing, etc. So these are the functions of this observatory. And see this next question, guys. Title says Bharatmala project, man held for taking fraudulent funds. What is this article talking about? It is talking about one project that is called as Bharatmala project, and this one it is talking about what? Fraud in that project. So in which subject we can say this, guys? Ethics. In ethics, you will get case studies related to this kind of topics, guys. How the case study will be? You are the head. You are the head of Bharatmala project, and recently funds had been released by government. One of your teammate involved in misusing of funds. Some fraud had happened like that. In this situation, how will you advise your subordinate, or what will be your action? What are the choices which are present before you? Evaluate the choices. Like that, UPSC can give you a question related to this kind of situation in your ethics. Today we are going to see ethics paper, right? In that paper, I will be showing this kind of articles. Okay, and they will be asking the different questions, different formats of questions they may ask, and you have to answer such kind of case studies, guys. Okay, that is one area. And next one is, if you see your 2026 paper, there is one question regarding Sagarmala project. Next time, they may give you about Bharatmala project in the same way. Sagarmala, Bharatmala, they are developmental projects. You have to know that kind of developmental projects which are undertaken by the government for sure. So you have to know about this. So you can get question in this way. Consider the following statements. They may give you 2 to 3 statements regarding this Bharatmala project, and they may ask you which of the above are correct or incorrect. And next, how they can give you question like that. We have different development projects in our country. So they will give you pair-based question related to this kind of projects, like Bharatmala project, ministry, what is the aim? Sagarmala project, ministry aim, or one more project, ministry aim, and they'll ask you how many of the above pairs are correct, or which of the above pairs are correct. So in that way also UPSC can give you a question, guys. So in these 3 ways you can expect a question related to this topic, and you have to be careful. And from mains point of view, how they can give the question? If they are giving any question on project, what they will focus on? Aims and objectives, features, achievements, challenges, way forward. Are you understanding? So in all these areas, you have to focus on mains. Okay, now let us see about this project. Please make a note of the ministry for sure. Bharatmala project is an umbrella program under Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. Then Sagarmala comes under which ministry? Sagarmala, Sagar means water. It is focusing on port development. So which ministry will take part of that? Which ministry will develop that ports? Ministry of Ports, Shipping. But here it is about roads. So here Ministry of Road Transport and Highways will be launching this program. So in that way, if you know what exactly is that, at least 90% of ministries you can guess. Okay. So this Bharatmala, it is about roads development, highways development. So Ministry of Road Transport and Highways will be launching this program. And next one is, it was announced in year 2017 and expected to be completed by 2022. But because of what happened here, 2019-20 COVID-19 pandemic, and because of lack of funds, this target had not been achieved by 2022, guys. Okay, next one here is, apart from Bharatmala, we also have Sagarmala, and also we have dry or land ports. There are other infrastructure projects. So all these infrastructure projects like roads and as well as ports, they comes under what? PM Gati Shakti plan. So please make a note here. Sagarmala, Bharatmala, dry or land ports comes under PM Gati Shakti plan. And what this plan is about? Improving of connectivity and logistics. Okay, improving of transportation, that is nothing but connectivity and logistics in our country. We came up with this Bharatmala, Sagarmala, and as well as dry or land port development in our country. Okay, what is the aim here? So here, whenever you are getting any project or any scheme, for sure you need to know the aim. Why? Because in UPSC prelims, one statement will be for sure aim, no? You have to know that. So in Bharatmala project, if you see the aim here, it wants to improve road connectivity and even wants to improve freight and passenger movement on roads. What is meaning of freight? Freight is nothing but freight movement means what? Goods, transportation. And Sagarmala project will be focusing on what? Modernization of our ports, and they want to promote coastal shipping to boost trade and maritime activities. So these are the aims of Bharatmala and Sagarmala project. Okay, what are the key features of this Bharatmala? The first one is, they want to improve economic corridors by coming up with different infrastructure projects, multimodal development projects, etc. And next one is, they want to develop economic corridors along with Golden Quadrilateral. Do you know this Golden Quadrilateral project? What is that Golden Quadrilateral is about? What is the meaning of quadrilateral? I think in your 10th class or 9th class you might have heard about quadrilateral. Quad means 4 sides. Okay, so in India also, in this way we are developing roads. That project is called as quadrilateral. That is called as Golden Quadrilateral. And we are also improving north, south and east west corridor in this way. So here you can see, this is your quadrilateral, 4 sides, right? And we are connecting in this way also. So it is called as east to west connectivity and north to south connectivity. So this project is called as Golden Quadrilateral, and it is part of this Bharatmala. Okay, next one is, we are improving the connectivity of roads, and we are also increasing coastal connectivity through improving of ports under this Sagarmala project. So these are the important features of this Bharatmala, guys. Okay, see this article. Evolving public health strategies to address under and over nutrition. What this article is about? It is about nutrition. What is meaning of nutrition first of all? Nutrition means taking balanced diet will helps to enhance your nutrition, right? So here this article is talking about under and over nutrition. What is the meaning of under? Okay, we are taking inadequate nutrition, then that is called as undernutrition. If you are taking over, that is, it is excess, it is called as overnutrition. What happens if you are taking undernutrition? It will cause a malnutrition and deficiency disorders you can get. Then what happens if you are taking overnutrition? Your body will be having excess energy that will be stored in the form of fat. That will lead to obesity. Okay, now this article is saying that in our country, especially children, they are not maintaining proper BMI. What is a BMI? body mass index. They are not maintaining this. If they are not maintaining this proper body mass index, what happen? They will be having metabolic disorders. Whenever they are having metabolic disorders, then what happen? In future, they are having the risk of non-communicable diseases. Like they may get heart problems or like diabetes, hypertension, kidney problem, liver problem. That is about this article. So now you guys imagine that you are a district collector, and in your district you have this cases of overnutrition, undernutrition, which are rising at a very faster pace in adolescent girls or adolescent boys. Tell me, what are the steps you will take to control, to maintain nutrition in your district? Awareness, next. Medical camps, okay, next. Changing of food, next one is focusing on what? Lifestyle modifications, and you have to focus on physical exercises. Next, and you have to make people aware about what to eat and what not to eat. There is nothing but right food. Next, you have to promote locally available foods rather than junk foods. Yes, so like that you have to take some steps to control this kind of incidents in the future, guys. So this can be asked in your prelims as part of ethics next year, because we are seeing constantly many articles related to this nutrition. In children there is increasing of obesity, so there is a very high chance of getting a case study in your ethics from your mains and as well as from your prelims also, guys. Okay, say this article, the power of mangroves over sea walls. If you have seen 2026 paper in prelims, there is a question on mangroves. Consider the following statements. They gave 3 statements and they gave new format of question or old format only. They asked how many above statements are correct. In that, answer is 3 only. First 2 statements are wrong, third statement is right. So in first 2 statements, they said about exactly what are the functions of mangroves, but they are not right. Okay, every year we'll celebrate Environment Day on June 5th. If you open your today's paper, mostly our opinion page is filled with 3 articles, and even in this editorial page also 2 big articles are about environment only. So here you have to see what are the reasons for the climate change. From mains point of view, what you have to focus is, first one is what are the reasons for this climate change, and next you have to see about what are the government initiatives to control this climate change, and next you have to collect some data related to carbon dioxide emissions or renewable energy targets or INDCs of our country, and next you have to see like what is the way forward. So if you collect this and if you make notes on this, it will be enough. And from mangroves point of view, mangroves is a very important topic and it is a favorite area of UPSC. Mostly there will be every year one question will be on mangroves in your prelims. You have to see about what exactly mangroves are there, and next you have to see the locations of mangroves in India, and you have to see the special features of the plants which we see in this areas, and you have to see what are the functions, what are the challenges faced by this mangroves, and you have to suggest some measures to improve mangrove concentration in our country. So if you do this, even if there is any mains question, you can handle this. And in 2026, we are expecting there will be a question on mangroves, because recently many reports are saying that there is increased mangrove population in this Tamil Nadu region. Mangrove trees population had been increased. That is one of the success. Because of this, we are expecting there may be a question on mangroves in mains. Okay, you have to see all these areas from mangroves from both prelims and as well as mains case. If you did this, then your work is done. Okay, see these questions, prelims questions. First one with reference to mangroves. First statement is mangrove roots help stabilize coastal lines against erosion. Second one, mangrove serves as nursery grounds for many fish species. Third one is mangroves are incapable of storing sufficient amounts of carbon. What about first one? First one will be for sure there. Okay, then what about second one? Yes or no? One more option gone. And see this third one. It is saying incapable. Actually, mangroves are known for carbon sequestration. They will absorb more and more carbon. Why they are incapable? It is wrong. So answer will be 1 and 2 only. So if you know the functions, the first function is carbon sequestration only. Okay, see this next question guys. Bharatmala Pariyojana phase 1 focuses on economic corridors, inter-corridor and feeder routes, coastal and broader roads, dedicated freight railway corridors. Easy to identify. Bharatmala is about only roads. They are talking about railway here. Eliminate this fourth one. Answer is 1, 2 and 3. Understanding? Okay, see this next question guys. Consider the following statements. Great Nicobar Island lies close to the Strait of Malacca. The project aims to leverage India's strategic position in Indian Ocean region. And next one is the Great Nicobar is separated from Sumatra by 10-degree channel. So if you are having any doubt, first if there is any question which talks about aims, that will be for sure will be there in your answer. So see where 2 is there. You can eliminate statements in that way. One will be not there. And now see other statements. Great Nicobar Island close to Malacca State. Yes, because of that only you are developing. One will be there for sure. And Great Nicobar is separated from Sumatra by 10-degree channel. Many a times I said 10-degree channel will be separating Andaman and Nicobar, not Sumatra. Eliminate this. Answer will be 1 and 2 only. So in that way, try to do strategically. Don't go randomly. If you are going randomly, the answering of question means you will be fall into that trap. Don't fall into that trap. Okay. That's all guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this class, please do hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends. And if you have not yet been subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe guys. And if you want to start your UPSC preparation, we are going to launch a new batch from this Monday guys. And we are providing 2 days of free demo on online and offline. And if you want to attend offline demo class, please do visit our academy in Ashok Nagar, Hyderabad. And if you want to attend online demo class, please do download Rathod's IS app. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much guys.